With college tuition steadily rising, more and more students are finding jobs. I sat down with Shatay Spates, a junior undergraduate student, as she shared her experience as a working college student.
Currently, I work at Publix, and I've been working there for about 4 years. I've been there before I came to college, so since my junior year in high school. Basically, just for a little bit of extra money. My parents kind of help me out with basic stuff, but if I want something extra, that's just kind of my way of having that money to get it. My scholarship covers tuition, so as far as books, housing, everything else, that comes out of our pockets. I live off campus right now. I stay at Westmar, and that's kind of expensive in itself compared to staying on campus. I stayed at Heritage. It is less expensive to stay at Heritage that I've noticed. I'll probably have another option for next year for a place to stay.
Statistics show that over 24% of students work more than 22 hours per week at the average four-year institution, 23 hours if they're a full-time student, and 30 hours if they're part-time. Shatay tells us at PSI she works 20.
So as far as having a part-time job, I believe the positives would be, it teaches you a little bit of extra responsibility, being on time, being punctual, how to deal with other people, outside of just school. And of course, it's money, so that's always a good thing. The downsides, you kind of, not lack of social life, but it kind of gets in the way of everything else. Of course, with extracurricular activities, hang with friends and whatnot, you have to go to work and you're not going to always be able to have that downtime to do what you really want to do.
Working is now a fundamental responsibility for numerous undergraduates. Many students bear the burden of working to pay the cost of attending college throughout the time of enrollment, while some students desire to work in order to gain a greater skill set in their field. College career centers often suggest using a job as an opportunity to develop professional competence that employers will be expecting upon graduation. Research has shown employment during college has several benefits other than monetary, including increased leadership and time management skills. Considering it is more likely that students who work full-time, more than 35 hours per week, are more likely to drop out, quantitative studies consistently show higher retention rates for students who work a modest number, 10 to 15 hours per week, than those who do not. However, the number of undergraduates working fewer than 20 hours per week has declined during the past decade, while the number working between 20 to 34 hours has seen an increase. Today, nearly 1 in 10 full-time traditional-age undergraduates is employed at least 35 hours per week.
There were many students who attended Clark Atlanta University performing at a local venue in Atlanta. The show turned out to be a huge success and they received much positive feedback. The showcase is called Mad Expressions and it displays many different styles of dance. For anyone who is interested, this showcase is held once every 3 months, so expect the next one to be in July of this year. I had the pleasure to interview Clark Atlanta University student Jeffrey Turk. She is also one of the dancers that were featured last night at the performance, and here's what she had to say.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Maya. I go to Clark Atlanta University, and I was a part of the Mad Expressions production. It was an awesome production. We had a lot of people come out. We had Jungle Boogie come out. We had a lot of different dance crews from different parts of Atlanta, even other cities and states like Alabama. I'm trying to think about what else, Florida. And it was just really fun because I love bringing dancers together and having a good time. And it wasn't even for a competition. It was really just to showcase the other talent that is around in the South region, which is a lot. And of course, my dance team, House Rest 2 Championship Dancing.
This is Terry Gomez with Dogus 30. Thanks for tuning in.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Lenox Mall in Atlanta, Georgia is a popular mall where people of all ages go to shop and have a good time with the variety of clothing stores available. It wasn't so much of a good time last week when a group of young adults walked into the mall and had a flash mob at the food court to promote their party. Here's a little bit of the footage. Even though the kids were being harmless and just dancing, not everyone was enjoying the show, and some people even thought the performance was a bit of a mall disturbance and felt uncomfortable that kids were dancing and shouting on tables while people with their friends and families were trying to relax and enjoy their meal. The mall is supposed to be a place to get out and have fun, and not for an unplanned party, but with all the complaints, this may be the last flash mob the mall sees for a very long time.
While over 30% of college students choose either a part-time or full-time job as a means of income, some students like Kimya Bradford choose another route.
Well, I braid hair, any type of braids that anybody needs, and yes, I consider myself to have a job because I do work long hours, I stand on my feet, I just don't clock in like a normal person would. I don't have a manager, I don't, have anybody to tell me what time to come in or leave or anything like that. I make my own hours whenever I'm available is when I do hair. So yes, I consider myself to have a job because I work really hard, just as hard as someone who has a job where they clock in or clock out. A good week, I would average probably anywhere between 30 to 36 hours doing hair. That's in a good week. It's my own thing, it's my own business. I'm creating it. I have a cute little name, Braids by Kimmy. So yeah, I would consider myself an entrepreneur in a sense. Some pros is, of course, the money. The money is good. I get a lot of clients, and a lot of people know my name, know what I do, so that's a good thing, having money and some source of income. But some cons, I would say, is the late hours because I have class during the day, so I typically do hair at night. So the late hours and the long hours with doing hair and just being tired, and sometimes it conflicts with my schoolwork. So that would be some cons, definitely, rather than having a regular 9 to 5. I feel like it would be equal, rather if I worked at Walmart or something like that, or Kohl's, or I feel like it'll be equal the time where I won't be able to do everything on campus. I'm not able to go to all the events or anything of that nature on campus because I do hair. So with the late hours, everything is typically at nighttime around 6 or 7, and I would have to either move someone or just cancel whatever event that I'm going to for doing hair. So no, I don't make it to everything. And I think it's equal as if I would, work at Walmart or something like that. I started doing hair on campus, I would say sophomore year, so fall 2013. I definitely will continue into my senior year because, like I said, it's a source of income. I don't have to worry about my boss calling me, telling me, or worried about hours going up and down. I make my own hours. I do hair when I can, when I want to, and if I don't want to, I can easily cancel somebody. So I can't call in and say, oh, well, I just can't come into work today. I'll be fired. I can't fire myself. So, yes, I would definitely go into senior year doing hair because it's a good source of income. In the event that I don't have a good week and it's slow and people aren't coming in to get their hair done, it does cross my mind sometimes, well, dang, maybe I should get a job because then I'll be looking forward to a paycheck. But then again, I'm like, no, because if I just do hair one day this week, I could be scheduled on, my job schedule for one day that week. So, and I get paid more from doing hair that day than I would clocking in. So, sometimes I do feel like that, but then sometimes I don't because it is what it is. People have jobs too, people have lives. So, if I'm not having a good week, I still have money from before. So, it's not like I'm really struggling too bad. I do plan at some point in time to go to cosmetology school and receive my license. So yeah, I see myself beyond college still doing hair because it's something that I really love to do. It's tiring, it hurts sometimes, it gives me a headache. People get on my nerves sometimes, but I do love doing it. So it's nothing like I'm just doing it just because I like doing it. So yeah, it's something that I will continue after college.
Building resumes, combating expenses, or just having fun, the work never stops. Dogus 30 reporter, Brittany Miller.
Crystal M. Giddens, a counselor, held an event at Clark Atlanta University to promote her new book, When School Counseling Hurts, to give her perspective on how school counseling can affect the school's education systems. Old and former students of Miss Giddens got together to celebrate and congratulate her on her new book, and a few of them did a couple of interviews to explain on how wonderful a person she was and how great the event and how great the book would be.
TIANAYOUNG.
So what did you think about the event here at Thomas Cole today?
I think it's going to be a great event. I'm very happy for Dr. Giddings, very excited for her, very, very excited for her and all of her accomplishments.
And the book, When School Counseling Hurts, what type of impact do you think this book will have for the education program?
Okay, well, first I hope that Clark adopts the book and incorporate it into the counseling program. She's an excellent counselor. She's been a school counselor for 30 plus years, or 20 something years, a very long time. She's made a great impact on the different schools in Atlanta, the inner city schools. So as a future counselor, I can take this book and incorporate it into my counseling program. She talks about comprehensive counseling program, ASCA. She talks about the good and the bad sides of school counseling and pretty much how to cope as being a counselor. So I think it'll be a really great book for any counselor to have.
Okay, thank you, Tiana. That was it.
Okay, thank you.
I absolutely love the program today. I love when authors are able to come and basically explain what the book is saying, give us their perspective on it, so that made more of the words come to life, and I was able to relate it to myself, being that I'm a school counselor too, so it was very relatable.
And can you speak on your personal relationships with Giddens?
Sure. Dr. Giddens, she was actually my teacher while I was here for my complete full 3 years, and we had a lot of interactions outside of the classroom. She was someone I could call all the time when I needed recommendation letters, when I had questions, when I was nervous about taking the GACE and different certification tests. She was always there for me. So we have a really great relationship, and we're also sorority sisters. So.
All right, thank you for your time. Dr. Giddens came out and shared a few personal things about writing the book. Here's a little bit of what she had to say.
Initially, I thought it was me, that I was the only one that had some concerns about how the field of counseling was changing. It was not what I thought it was going to be based on what I had learned at the graduate school level. I was a little concerned about that, and I would mumble and grumble about it. And I would take notes along the way. But when I became president of the Atlanta School Counselors Association for 4 years, over and over and over and over again, I kept having counselors come to me with concerns they had about how they were not really getting a chance to counsel students. They were doing some other things. So eventually I put a lot of notes together and I decided that I wanted to write about it. Because in my mind, school counseling wasn't helping very much.
Get Dr. Giddens' new book, When School Counseling Hurts, and see how it affects your opinion on the school system and their counseling programs. It may help, it may not.